Okay, let's get started then. If we're ready, let's bring ourselves to the mat with a little bit of tiptoes and heels. Now, remember there are alternatives to tiptoes and heels. It is my favourite, might not be yours. You can do the funny walk on the heels, on the edges, on the instep, on the balls of the feet, and just alternating that. I find it's also really, really very nice. Just tiptoes and heels, or both. A little bit of both sometimes can be good. And we're just getting into a nice steady rhythm. Really feeling the floor beneath the feet. Just getting that awareness to come down from the head, from all the thinking, into the feeling world, into that contact. And then, of course, just starting to feel how the, sorry, somebody coming in, how the feet are beginning to respond as we feel that kind of fatigue come in. And then when we can feel that, we'll bring it to stillness. Just notice that spreading, that release and letting go. And keeping that feeling there, let's switch to the hands, just warming up the hands. So interesting little thing, after my meditation, when I went to do my first yoga class, I noticed that my usual sort of hard massage and pressing and pinching of the fingertips felt like a bit too much. It's calmed down a little bit since then, but I really was loving this very light touch. And it just goes to show how it changes. And the other one that I was really liking was this one with the finger as well. So anything that was light felt really good, and anything that was really hard felt really too much. So yeah, it's a nice little observation. So we're just going to feel the feet and the hands at the same time. Let's take a breath in. And as you breathe out, send the breath down. Feet and hands at the same time. Feet and hands at the same time. And then we're going to bring our awareness to the face. So similar thing with the face. I had quite an interesting experience during the course. I woke up in the middle of the night and my jaw was completely locked. And the one that actually released it the best was this one. So it's a variation on this one where we have the hand at the back and we push. Instead of the hand, we have the thumb on the chin and then the finger on the top lip here. And we push both into the hand and release it 3 times. Push and release. And then as you let that go, just feeling the mouth relax. And then again, a little stroke if you want it, or any of your other favorites. The tongue in the cheek is one of my favorites as well. You know, tapping too can be really nice. So you're just observing and then bringing your awareness, once you've finished, to the jaw dropping, to that relaxed state. Then feet and hands together. Just having that moment to really feel into the feet, hands, and face all at once. Take a breath. And as you breathe out, bring all of that awareness to feet, hands, and face. You might feel that slight nervous system change happen when you do that. All right, let's start with our sun salutation then. So we're going to breathe in, open up, looking up and back, lengthening the spine. And then as you breathe out, forward bend. Letting the head drop, tucking the chin in, just seeing how that feels. That first stretch is always a good comparison tool for later. And then breathing in, looking up, flattening the back. Nice little S shape. Try and come down with the S shape and then let the head go again and see if we can relax the jaw. And then we're going to take a step back. One leg coming into our dragon pose. So we are leaning forwards into that front leg, leaving the back leg behind. Waiting for that groin to give way a little bit. Once the hands given way, we can come up. Keep going forwards though. A little push here is quite quite handy, and then breathing in, reaching up and back. And then bring the hands back down. And again, reaching in. Push the floor away from you so you can relax the legs just a fraction more. And then we can come to our plank pose. In plank pose, we are engaging the core, picking up the marble. Also engaging the upper core, so pushing through the hands to connect down to the belly button. We're waiting for the breath. And we're breathing deeply. So we want that heart rate to go up. Just a fraction. And then when we are happy with that, we can come down and really rest that upper body onto the floor. Feel the breastbone resting, the arms releasing, the head letting go. And once the upper body is really resting, and you've really put it down, then we can start with our bottom roll. And just feeling the position of this, two different halves of the body doing two different things. So one is resting completely, letting go into the floor. And the other one is gently rocking. Where we're finding a rhythm with it. And of course, there's going to be a response at some point. I'm just looking out for that now. We're sort of tuning into the rhythm. We've got our song or rhyme going in the background. And then that sigh, that breath, the yawn, whatever it is will come, and just bring it to stillness. Allowing the legs to let go, to observe how it feels, to remind ourselves of that letting go of the legs feeling. And keeping that feeling now, we bring the hands around and we're going to squeeze those adrenal glands, looking up and back, breathing in. Lengthen the spine, and then as you breathe out, pushing forwards and back. Keep the hands stuck to the mat. As you lean out of them, you're allowing the wrists, elbows and shoulders to open out. Taking the stretch right up into the upper back. And right to the back of where the diaphragm joins there. And we can just give it a little rock. Rocking that diaphragm open a little bit more. Finally coming to rest to feel the work, the results of your work. And then as we come up onto hands and knees, a little bit of ecstasy. So we're just going to pull with the hands and push with the hands. So trying to manage this movement with the hands so that the spine is free to move. Feeling any crooks, any tightnesses there, start to hopefully loosen out. Now I do 2 or 3, you might want to do more until it feels a bit looser. And when it does feel a bit looser, bring yourself into a slight S shape, tuck the toes under and come up into downward dog with that S shape. Thanks. Now if you had tightness in the upper body, especially, you could do a couple of miniature ecstasies here to loosen that up. A bit harder for the lower body. Dropping and lifting that breastbone between the shoulder blades a little bit. And then again, just bring that to stillness and stretch out of it. Feel the legs relax. Remember, our main purpose here is to be comfortable enough to stay here as long as we can. We want that upside downness. Let the legs go, relax the jaw, let the head go. And then bringing the leg forward once you start to feel that little tremble come in. So that we can come into our dragon pose on the outside. Again, we're leaning in. Pushing the floor away from you.
waiting for that groin to sort of give way a little bit. Or as I used to describe it, it's like you're pushing out a boat on a rocky shore, and then suddenly it hits the water and it slides and glides, and that's kind of the feeling I always look for in here. That groin starts to glide itself open easily. And then you can come up. Still with that lean forward, breathing in, reaching up. Wobbly today. Need to start doing some core. Next week we're going to start with more core work. Pushing the floor away from you, leaning forward, leaning forward, leaning forward. Final little deep stretch in there. And then we're going to bring this back leg forward into our forward bend. Time to grab hold of the elbow. And release the shoulders a little bit. Orangutan man, give the ribcage a rock here if it feels good to do. Bringing it to stillness when you're done, having that moment to feel the benefits of that little move. And then we're breathing in, we're looking up. Again, coming down. Now, before we go up any further than this, we're going to just do a little bit for the head, just to check how it is. So let's just hold the head with our hands and just sort of circle it and just see how much of your back and shoulders responds to that. Rock it backwards and forwards, or rock it side to side, and just see how loose does it feel, or can I feel bits of my back holding on. Bring that to stillness. Breathing in, looking up. I'm going to come down again. Let's see if we can let the head go. Final time here, relax the jaw. Feel the weight of it. And then we're going to gently and slowly uncurl. We've been upside down there for a while. So we're coming up. Oh, find your feet. Make sure you're nice and stable. Blood pressure changes quite a bit there. So always go slowly here, breathing in. Lovely. And bringing the hands together, centering exercise. So drawing that line down the center of the body. If you need to draw it all the way down, then do so. If you can't feel it all the way down. Otherwise, just sitting here with the line, hands on the line, feet either side of the line, jaw relaxing into the line. Aware of that line there and allowing all our attention to come away from our thoughts and everything going on around us to this line, to the feet and the hands and the face, just to take a good present breath here. So the whole breath, in breath and out breath, we are with this line and with our body. Maybe two breaths. Okay, so we have landed. Well, partially landed anyway. All right, let's come into the body even more. So we're going to come and do this little massage. Just wanted to point out something. I'm going to kneel down so that you can see this a little bit clearer. I'm not quite sure whether you can from so far away, but you want to be massaging right up to the bottom of your calf muscles. So if you sort of follow the line of the calf muscle, it's like a tear-shaped muscle, and you come to the very sort of tip of that tear, you want to be massaging all the way up to there. And it's much more effective stretch this when you get it all the way up, because the lip of that gland is sort of up there. And this one sort of little massage, properly done, has a really, really strong effect. So you can tell that. So when you stop and you feel both feet, you can really distinctly feel the difference. Okay, so let's do the other side. Gentle massage all the way up. All the way up. And if it's sore, you sort of you can feel the soreness at the lip of this. So shows you that the cortisol levels have been quite high. All right, let's take a step forwards. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a step forwards and we're just going to pump a little bit with that foot to just squeeze that gland. And then bending both knees, coming forward and trying to lengthen and open that front knee back out again once you're there to get that stretch. Relax the toes, let go of the legs, drop your sack of potatoes. And then we're just going to swap sides. So remember, this deep relaxation, it really requires that we consume as much of the cortisol and adrenaline that's in this gland and in the muscle as well, with the legs. There's always a little bit in there too. So bending the knee of that front leg right down, we're going to take a step back, a big step back. You can have the hands on the floor for this just as well. And you're dropping the heel of the back foot straight. So make sure your foot isn't to the side, make sure the foot is straight. So you can feel the stretch in the calf. And the more you bend your knee forwards, the stronger the stretch. So you're really looking for a good calf stretch here. And again, just the other side, you just step forward and step back, big step back onto the ball of the foot, bend the front knee, drop the back heel. And then we're going to drop that back knee down, lean back, straighten this front leg. And we're bringing it into the hamstring now, right to the top, the whole leg, as we kind of bow down towards our knee. Oh. A really good, strong stretch, this one. And then all you have to do once you've done that is swap sides. I'm just going to mute. No, that's not on mute. And so the toes are pointing up, it's important, and you've got that whole stretch there. And then what you can do, keep the front leg there and lean forward. So we're coming back to this dragon pose here, but we're trying to get a bit deeper into the thigh. You'll notice that because of what we've done, the thigh can get a bit of, and that you feel much more that you can leave that leg behind as well. It's just a little comparison for you. Make sure you try it on both sides though. You can pair that when we stretch out the legs, you know, this letting go of the leg feeling becomes far easier to do. And so from here, this front leg in front of us, we're going to turn the foot and place the knee down. So we're coming into psoas stretching. That's from the front. From the back, you're walking this back leg behind you and coming into pigeon pose. And so try not to roll over, because if you roll over, you lose the stretch. Sitting on top of the leg, but slightly to the side, this back leg inching its way. If you want a bit stronger, you can come down. So this also gets the inner thigh. And you can feel that whole of the leg just sort of starting to release. It's the same principle as before. Let the legs go, drop the sack of potatoes down. And this is one of those poses that really benefits from like an extra bit of, few extra breaths. And it's why it's one of the favorites of yin yoga. So all we have to do is swap sides. So this leg goes back, this leg goes forwards. And again, just sit back. And all the time I'm thinking, oh, how do I let go? How do I let go? And down. If you want to, just rest your head on your fists. And try not to roll over. Keep yourself upright. And what's nice is that from here to come out of that, we can just roll onto that leg and turn. And we are sitting. And we can just give a little bit of tick-tock here after all that stretching. So deep relaxation, as I keep saying, it requires three things. It requires the hormones to be right. It requires the legs particularly to be stretched because they contain cortisol and adrenaline. And it requires the nervous system to be on board. So TikTok's a good one, but do remember when you're sitting, you want to close your eyes because it's much better if you're not looking. Seems to work better. And you're really focusing on the letting go. Tick, let go. Tick, let go. Tick, let go. Going into a rhythm with that. Really feeling into that letting go moment. So that when it really comes to it, we can feel at the end of this, we can feel when we stop that the legs are heavy, put down on the floor. We literally just let them go. And that's how we know we've done a good job. Now, we need to move up, so we just start with a few little circles. The circles are quite telling, so how easy or difficult we find this to do, how much the legs move. Like, are your legs able to sort of stay in that sort of heavy state and not be pulled around by your movement? Indicates, how much of your tension. With some people's tension isn't in the legs, it's in the lower back. And psoas, particularly. So, the psoas is the thing that's going to be pulling your legs around when you do this. And so if it is psoas for you, you might find, although actually that pigeon pose was good, I'd quite like to do another one. So you've got various options like the cobra pose. If it's a bit further up the back, psoas, the turtle pose is really good. So finding really where the tension is the most. You can do a bit of both. But as we come into psoas, rubbing those lower two hot plates and reminding these hot plates that their job is to let go into the floor. Now, for some people, that you don't need to rub them. You can feel them already. So you're in the pose and you can go, oh yeah, there's my hot plates, and then I just need to drop that sack of potatoes down. So it really depends on your constitution as to whether you need to rub or not. Lovely. And so hopefully, with all of that, we can just feel that those legs are like, especially after that, much more released. But I'd still like to do a bit more for the adrenal glands. So we're going to do a little bit of massage. So finding the top of your pelvic bone, the bottom rib cage, and the space in between is roughly where. And we want really slow, big circles to massage the adrenals. Somebody described it to me and said it's a little bit like, those freebie packets of shampoo and conditioner you get. You snip a little hole in the corner. If you do it too harshly, the packet might burst and you might, push out too much conditioner and it'll go everywhere. Whereas if you gently massage it out, that's how we want it. We want to be gently massaging our adrenals and just enticing them to stand down a little bit. And of course, it's quite nice then afterwards to bring your hands and cover them. And together with the hot plates that we've just done, so the hands can be like this, pointing, fingers pointing down. We've got here the adrenals and the hot plates covered. We get that, that feels good in the back. That's not to say that we don't want to stretch them and squeeze them too. So we are going to come on to hands and knees. The hands this time a little bit further away. Feet to behind. And this is I'm going to drop, squeeze as you look up. Big, big, big squeeze. And then back to child pose with the stretch. We'll just do 3 or 4 of these. Each time perhaps able to let go a little bit more. Look up a little bit more, lengthen the spine, push with the hands, and back. Third or fourth time, after a little squeeze, it's much nicer. Bring the hands a bit closer and come into downward dog, because now we can drain that adrenal gland upside down much easier. And sometimes you can even feel it. For me, it's like a cold feeling that kind of comes down from the adrenal area down the back. And again, we just need to be comfortable. Of course, you could stretch your legs a little bit more if you want to. Bend one knee, stretch one leg at a time. But really, it's a time thing. You just want to hang upside down. And it doesn't have to be downward dog. You could just walk your hands back and do a forward bend. You're still upside down, still doing the job. And what's nice here is that we can start a little bit more work with the neck. So we know that the back and the neck are linked in terms of tension. So a little bit of head rocking like we did in the sun salutation again can prepare us for what comes next. Because if you remember, the head wants to feel like it's independent from the rest of the body. It might be feeling more so now. But we are going to go to sitting, so I'm going to head back into my downward dog for a moment. Oh, the legs getting a really good stretch, really feeling them draining now. And then coming down onto my knees. Head on the floor just for a moment, hands by the feet. Oh. I think we've done a really good job there. Oh. Stretching and consuming the adrenaline and the cortisol. And we've patterned a little bit. We've told the nervous system a little bit what we're doing, but we're going to do more of that towards the end as well. But what comes next now is the awakening of the vagus nerve, the other side of the equation. So let's start with the moro. So that's the base awakening. So we've got the right hand on the left rib, and we're rocking. Now, one of the major sort of, I think of the vagus nerve like a series of, like a train network, lots of different stations and different areas. So one of the main branches of it is going into the diaphragm. So it is a good, really good exercise to do this one for vagus nerve stimulation. And it's going to deepen our breath, which is also going to help with the vagus nerve switching itself on. But sometimes, when your vagus nerve is really well toned, it will automatically switch on when you de-stress the body. But for a lot of people, the vagus nerve isn't really toned enough to just automatically do that. So, all right, so we're listening out, we've got a rhythm, we're waiting for that response. It could just be a wave of warmth. Mine has changed now from deep breaths coming in to a warmth that builds up, and then it becomes slightly uncomfortable, and I'm like, okay, that's enough.
So I've got my hands here just to keep that warmth in as I observe it. Lovely. And another little revelation that I had on my yoga course was that, you know, I often talk about this being like a crepe pan, you know, this heat all the way through from the front to the back. I failed to sort of notice the fact that actually the muscle is quite thick. Maybe not that thick, but I'm exaggerating it for the camera, and it's quite thick. And so it has this area stretching that needs to be, and you sometimes feel it, you know, when you do that upward dog, for example, you feel a pull here, and that's because the muscle also needs to be stretched in that direction. And that is in the realm of Landau. So Landau does this lengthening in the S shape. And so I came up with this little combination which worked really well. So I'm pulling with my hands, I'm in S shape, looking up. And then here, I'm giving myself a little rock. So I'm using the hands to just rock, 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 like that ribcage rock we just did, but with the stretch there. It just loosens, loosens, loosens it. And what's really nice is that when you stop and you come back, you can feel the lift automatically. That pulling down that the muscle does when it compacts itself is kind of gone. So, you know, we have that natural lift that we're so after. So keeping that natural lift there, we're going to stimulate the vagus nerve a little bit more. So let's have the elbows up here. So similar, we're going to breathe in, look up. Oh, there's a little bit of tension there. We could give it a little rock just for old time's sake. And then we're going to breathe out and bring the elbows together. Chin down. So let's do a few of those. Breathing in, opening. Breathing out, elbows together. Breathing in, opening. So take your own breath pattern. And you're going to do this for as long as your arms will let you. So in an attempt to sort of do the whole body MAT thing here, we are going to do some orangutan arms, but you will notice that when you have had enough and you bring your arms to the side, there is a letting go there as well. So we've got this lift coming, this natural lift, and we've got the arms sort of dangling over the edge, and that vagus nerve really starting to respond. And you can feel it because you sort of get that wave of relaxation, that, oh, I'm starting to relax. And that is how you know the vagus nerve is switching itself on. Might not have happened yet because it has to be, you know, well toned, like I said. Okay, so orangutan arms. So let's do the classic one, 2 arms up, 1 arm forward, 1 arm back. 2 arms up, other arm forward, other arm back. Keep going. You can start the eye tracking from thumb through the center of the room if you wish to do that. And we're just sort of waiting for those arms to start to feel fatigued. Do a couple more after you feel the fatigue, just because it gives that extra emphasis on that orangutan armness at the end. And when the 2 arms come together and then you release, you really got that, such a stronger sense. And it'd be quite nice to do a bit of stretching here. So let's interlace the fingers, come into shoulder blade squeeze stretch. Immediately orangutan your arms, even in the easy position. You want to work a bit harder, lift. Again, orangutan your arms. And if that's not enough, you can bring this stretch straight into hare pose. Orangutan your arms. Whatever you've decided to do when you're done, arms are by your side. You're either in child pose, because remember, if you've done hare, you need to keep the head down for a moment and relax your arms there. If you stayed upright, just relax them by your sides and just feel that release. And then we're going to bring it into a nice eagle stretch. So many stages to this one. Just holding the arm here and using this arm just to pull slightly is stage 1. Lifting up the hands is stage 2. Make sure the elbows stay crossed. Holding the hands if you can. I'm so terrible at this. The palms stay facing out. And then you hook them. Yeah. And then, if you want to, you can lift the elbows a bit higher. And of course, once you've got your stretch, what you want to do is relax. Orangutan. Oh, tricky. Other side. Elbow underneath. So you could just be stretching here. And then standing up. Hands together. And arms up and relax. And it's interesting, at the beginning of the week, I could do this with ease. 1 week out of meditation and my shoulders have gotten tighter. This goes to show meditation does actually relax the body. And we're back to our nice relaxed shoulders. And the purpose of this is that, you know, when the shoulders are relaxed, we get much more this sense of, okay, I can let my body go. I can let it go. So that then we get more of a sense of, okay, the head is meant to be independent. So with that orangutan arm feeling, just start to do little circles at the top of the flagpole. And just notice how does that feel? Can I circle and make sure you go in both directions? Can I circle and totally feel the arms orangutan and hardly moving? And do I know where the top of that flagpole actually is? When I stop circling and place my head there, what effect does that have on my shoulders? And so now we're coming into doing these neck reflexes. So we can start with a polish. So polishing is just, I also call this the no rock. So we're just saying no and rocking side to side. And then as you start to drop the chin towards the chest, it's like, oh, more of the shoulders and back are going to want to take part. When you feel something in the shoulders and spine, stop going forward and polish for a while. See if you can polish away that connection. And then come further down when it's done. And again, you're working your way down, just thinking babies can touch their chins to their clavicle without bending their spine. So I think it's a long way to go. And just feeling wherever there's that connection, you're rubbing it away with your nose. And of course, then when you come up, it's like, oh, amazing, it's all gone. Come up to the top and then go over the other side of the flagpole. Not as far, obviously, but just a little bit to polish the back there. Relax your jaw, it really helps. And then as you come up to the very top and you stop, you're going to feel that extra response in the shoulders. Neck. Just have a moment to sit with that feeling of, oh, the head is sort of floating off the top of the shoulders. The shoulders are heavy, the body is like lead, and the head is light. And then the final reflex is going to be the circle and the square. So just to remind you, the circle is your head. Square has 2 corners in front, 2 corners behind. It's like you've got a pencil in the center of that circle. We're going to point to corner 1. And then center. Now we're kind of triangulating where the center is. Point to corner 2. Center. Point to corner 3. Center. Point to corner 4. And as you come to the center, it's like, yeah, I can feel that triangulation there. and the effect it has when my head is in the right place on my shoulders. Turn the chin and point to corner 1. And now we have to sort of triangulate, getting our chin forward and straight and the head back to the middle. Turn the chin. Corner 2. And turn the chin and back to the middle. You'll be amazed how many people forget to turn the chin back. Turn the chin behind you and return the chin to the center. Turn the chin behind you and return back to the center. And again, just noticing how that is affecting the shoulders and the upper back. It's subtle, but it's definitely there. Let's do it again. This time, see if we can flow a bit more. So 1, center, 2, center, flowing over the top of the flagell. 3, center, 4, center. Turn the chin. 1, center. Turn the chin. 2, center. Turn the chin. 3, center. Turn the chin. 4. And again, coming back to the center, and again, just noticing any effect. And it might not just be the shoulders. You might find that suddenly your tail goes, your core engages, and the legs are able to let go a little bit more as well. Do you remember this is the last of the reflexes at the very top of the tree, so it affects all the reflexes all the way down the body. All right, let's come to lying down, because the stretching of the neck and working with the neck is always a little bit more effective lying down. There's still another reflex that I want to do here. As you lie down, just pay attention a little bit to your hot plates. If you can't feel the top ones, you can always give them a little bit of a rub. We rub the lower ones. But especially important for neck work is, again, that those shoulders, those hot plates, are really supporting the arms, the limbs, so that they can let go. You can have the knees bent if it's uncomfortable for your back, but you can also just feel those lower 2 hot plates really supporting and letting go of the legs, so that the body feels like lead. And so then as we rock the head here, it should feel a little bit looser than normal because of the work we've already done. Okay, just a little rock just to ascertain that. And we've done quite a few reflexes for this area, so it might not last very long, but that's okay. When you do bring it to stillness, again, you're just observing that response. But I'm starting to get that neurofeedback, which I know is like the first signs of your system has had enough of that. So proceed with caution, do a little bit of feet, hands, and face if your nervous system's getting a bit overworked. All right, so we're going to interlace the fingers, bring the head behind, and look at our feet. And here we're getting a really good stretch. So again, drop down your hot plates, especially the top ones. And if you wish to, you could give this a little bit, a tiny little rock, as you feel those muscles that are possibly further down the back than the shoulders, but somewhere in the body still holding on. I'm just going to teach them to let go. And as we come down, just working our way down, still rocking if you want to, or if you've had enough of the rocks, you can stop. You just feel the weight of the head in your hands. Use the hands to rock you, not the head muscles and neck muscles. And then as the head gets close to the ground, a little bit more. And then release. Oh, just noticing again, more of the shoulders letting go. Now there is also this really good move. This is an isometric one, so it should be all right in terms of rocking, no more rocking. So if you can feel where the head is touching the ground, and now push the floor away from you. Feel all the muscles that activate down the spine and the shoulders, and then let them go. And then I'm going to do that 3 times. Push and let them go. Now that letting go might take a while. Push
And just make sure that you see the letting go right through to the end. And then we'll bring the hand to the forehead. Again, imagining now that the hand is the floor, we're going to push into the hand. Not with your chin, with your forehead. And release. Again, feeling all the muscles that activate as you push. And then feeling them all let go. This one goes right up into the throat. 3 times release. Again, just watch it to the end. Bringing the hand just above the ear. So that sort of round bit just behind, above the ear. We're going to push into the hand there. And release 3 times. Feeling the tension and then letting go. Before you go over to the other side, just again have a moment to feel the difference. And 3 times on the other side. And again, just able to feel the difference. Each time there's something new. Not to forget the mouth reflexes also have a really strong effect on the neck. We're going to do this final isometric one where we bring the hand to the jaw, just like we did when we were standing, and we push. And if you want, you can do the one that we did standing as well, where we push both. So because you're lying down, it's a bit easier because you don't have to use the other hand. So you have one hand at the bottom, one hand at the top, and you push both into the ground and then release. And again, I'd do it 3 times. And at that point, just observe the fruits of your labour. All sorts of things letting go down the spine. And also just have a little moment to feel, again, how much looser the head feels. So the body's feeling heavy on the ground. And if you rock it just, I don't know, 3 or 4 times and just go, oh, look at how loose that is. And bring it to stillness. It's probably had enough input there, reflex-wise, the neck. So let's come and give it a stretch. So if we bend the knees up, notice that your head wants to roll in. And it is a bad habit that we get into where we lift the head to roll it. Try not to lift the head because then you're activating the very muscles we've just let go. If you want your head to roll in more, use your hands. Tuck it in. Tuck it in with your hands. And then as we come up into our bridge pose, and again, the head will naturally want to roll in. If it's struggling, I don't know, because the hair's got stuck or something, use your hands. Roll it in with your hands, but don't lift it. Get a nice stretch all the way up. As you get higher, you might need to roll more, but at some point you're going to feel that big stretch there in the neck. And if you want to, you could just do like a little miniature rock just to loosen up a little on a deeper level. Of course, we've got the squeeze the adrenal glands going on. If you suffer from sort of under the rib cage or under the shoulder blade sort of tension, bringing the arms up and over can also really help. A little bit of a rock here just to loosen that. And you can rock your way down. So you could, if you've still got capacity for rocking of the neck, as you rock down, you can rock the neck and the rib cage. So using the 2 ends of this tension in the upper body, diaphragm and the neck, and rocking them in time all the way down. Stopping wherever you feel a lot of tension to kind of rock it out. And then we just bring that down and release the arms. Oh, nice and relaxed arms. Let's bring the arms to the side. So we haven't done a major twist, so we're going to spend a little bit of extra time on this one. So placing the foot on the knee to push that leg over and get the pelvis to roll. Feel how the head responds by wanting to roll naturally in the other direction. Again, no need to lift it. We've got the hand here on the knee, and what we can do here is we can bend the other arm and bring the hand to the temple and just encourage a little bit of a stronger neck stretch there. And it's as if the hands are holding you and the body in between can just melt. So the legs can let go, the sack of potatoes can be put down, the shoulders can be orangutan. The jaw can release. The spine with each breath is lengthening slightly. You want to roll over, rolling gently back to the middle. You'll feel that discombobulated feeling of having only done half the job. And roll over to the other side again. Let that head roll. Feel it naturally roll. Then bring the hand to the knee. And then the other hand to the temple. A slight little pull there to get an extra neck stretch. And then letting the body melt in between the hands. The legs let go. The head will let go. The breath opening out the spine. Shoulders orangutan. We've got the final piece of the puzzle for the hormone system coming up. We just have a moment in the middle just to feel. Every time more and more of us is letting go. As we come to sitting on the hands and straightening out the legs for our fish pose. Again, it's very tempting here to hold on to the head. To think of the head as a heavy cannonball that you're not going to lift off the floor. Instead, you're pushing through the elbows, leaving the head on the ground. The throat opens, the chest opens, but the head remains heavy. And even if you're quite flexible and you want to come up, lift the head off the floor, you're still not holding on to it, it's dangling. Release the jaw, it really helps. When you roll back down, you might roll the head part of the way and then use your hands to roll the rest of the way. So you're not using, again, any neck or shoulder muscles to get the head into position. And then just release the arms after that. And hopefully, you know, that head, again, is just feeling that detachment, just a little rock a couple of times to go, yep, it does feel completely detached from the rest of the body. And so we can't go into sort of a deep relaxation class without having a few little rocks. So let's bring the feet to the ground and start with our knee bend rock. And you might notice that the knee bend rock here is a bit different to normal because the head feels looser off the end of the body. Shoulders are heavy, but still moving with you. And if you relax the jaw some more, the head will move some more. You want this sort of, what I call the Churchill dog bob. Remember those little dogs on the back of people's windscreens? The back screen of the car. They used to bob their head as they moved along down the road, so that's what you want to look like. The car is moving, that's your body, and the head is just bobbing in response. Just find that doing it like this, though, is quite strong, especially for the vestibular system. So you want to make sure that you are listening carefully to your body and not doing too much. And bringing it to stillness when it feels right for you. Probably have quite a strong response. And of course, there's some of us that prefer the side-to-side rock. So if you bring your feet together, your knees together, we can do the rope. So if you remember, the rope is actually 3 reflexes at once. So you've got the lower body rocking side to side, as if you're doing a bottom roll this way up. And then we've got the hands on the ribs that are joining in, so the ribs are now going side to side. And again, if the head is loose, it will, without you prompting it, rock side to side on its own. It's very neuro-rich, this one, though, so if you've already had a bit too much of the rocks, you might not want to do it, or just do it for a short time. Just bring that to stillness when we're done, and we are fully cooked into relaxation mode, hopefully by now. You can feel the weight of the legs and the arms. Head feels heavy off the end of the body. Sinking into that floor, feeling that sinking feeling. Make sure that you're warm enough as you come to do the relaxation. And the relaxation today is going to be a very simple one. I'm trying to sort of get to the nuts and bolts of relaxation for everybody, and the fact that really all relaxation is your ability to go through the body in a systematic way. So you're going through the body part by part, just observing it. And it can just be as simple as going in a round. So let's start with the right big toe. Just noticing that toe. First toe, like a little spotlight landing on the second toe, third toe, and little toe. Top of the foot, the ball of the foot, the ankle. Let your awareness travel up through the calf and the shin to the back of the knee and the knee. The thigh, the front. The inner thigh, the back of the thigh, the side of the thigh, the hip. Letting your awareness travel up through the hip and the pelvis and across the pelvis to the left hip, down the left leg to the left big toe. So just noticing that left big toe, first toe, second toe, third toe, little toe. Shining the light on the sole of the foot, the top of the foot, the ankle, the calf, the shin, the front of the knee, the back of the knee, the inner thigh, the top of the thigh, side and the back of the thigh and into the hip and buttocks. And letting your awareness now come to the base of your spine, and like a light, shine it all the way up the spine, through the lower back, the middle, between the shoulder blades, all the way up to the neck, to the join between the head and the neck. And feeling that light shine on the top of your flagpole and down the other side of the flagpole to the throat, and down into the chest and the breastbone. Feeling both shoulders, the whole of your chest and belly.
Allow your attention to come up from the belly, through the chest to your right shoulder and down the right arm to land on your right thumb. First finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the wrist. The lower arm, the outer elbow, the inner elbow, the upper arm, the shoulder. Feeling your awareness travel across the clavicle bone from one side of the body to the other, to the left side, and down the left arm to the left thumb. First finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger. Palm of the hand, the back of the hand, the wrist. Lower arm, the inner elbow, the outer elbow, the upper arm, all the way up through the shoulder to the throat, and from the throat into the jaw joint, feeling that jaw joint melt into the back of the neck, feeling the lips relax, the teeth dangle in the gums, the tongue release, aware of both cheeks, around the eyes, the temple, the brow, the forehead, the top of the head, the back of the head. So that we've passed our attention through the whole body. We're just aware of the whole body. And there might be areas that we need to revisit. They feel a little tighter. We can just look at them and see if just watching them helps us to release. Or we can be feeling the whole of the body with one breath, aware of everything, right down from the toes and legs and fingertips and arms and spine and the chest and the belly and the face and the head and the neck and jaw. And then as you breathe out, feeling that whole heavy body sink into the earth. Breathing in, feeling the whole body. And as you breathe out, letting go into the ground a little bit more. And then at some point, seeing if you can feel these two awarenesses at the same time. Feeling both the weight of the body and the sense of the whole body relaxing simultaneously. And if the mind is distracted, just keep coming back to the breath, observing the whole body with one breath as you breathe in and letting go into the ground as you breathe out. I'm just going to gently slip away and allow you to stay relaxing for as long as you need to. Until next week.